All right, you ready for your
right.
your quiz question here, you jerk? All right.
Sure. Ask me about, a question about like somebody I worked with last week or something like that, like your last trivia question.
Well, this will be easy then. This is
All
about
right.
your favorite football team, the Minnesota Vikings, your squad, okay? It's in lieu of our MVP talk. The Minnesota Vikings have had 3 NFL MVPs. Name them, Mike Florio.
All 3 of them?
All 3 of them. You're like
Allen?
Mr. Viking guy. Let's go.
All right. NFL MVPs. I thought there were only 2. Alan Page.
Yep.
Fran Tarkenton.
Right.
I'm.
If you don't get this one, I mean, you might have to walk off the show.
Wait a minute. What am I missing?
Yeah, I don't know. Only the greatest running back of our generation, but other than that, I don't know.
Oh, Adrian Peterson. What am I thinking? Adrian Peterson. No, don't play. Yeah, I forgot all about it.
Boom,
Sorry.
eat it.
All right. Go ahead, take the pick. Yeah, I completely forgot about it. 2012 came on late, got 2,000 yards, and almost set the single-season rushing record and took the MVP away from Peyton Manning.
Jeez, you call yourself a Vikings fan. Okay, here we go.
Well, I don't. See? That should prove that they should revoke my card from back in the 70s.
My pick will be Russell Wilson. Yes, that's the guy I'm going with right off the bat. I mean, Russell Wilson, second best quarterback in the game to me right now. I do think that they got some weapons around him. The offensive line certainly has been fixed. We know how special of a football player is. I expect the Seahawks to be, in the top tier conversation in the NFC. Usually to get into the MVP conversation, your team's got to be really damn good too. And I think all those things line up this year to where, Russell Wilson, maybe he can get a vote for MVP this year, like just one freaking vote. But he's at the top of my list for guys that could be first-time MVPs.
Yeah, and as we continue to hear over and over again that he's never gotten a vote for MVP, I just wonder, does that fuel his candidacy to win it? He ultimately, and look, it comes down to the quarterback of the teams that earn the 1 seed.
That's right.
That last year, that's exactly what it was
right.
In the AFC. Lamar Jackson, 14-2, the best team in the NFL, the quarterback of the best team in the NFL, unless the rest of the team is carrying the quarterback, obviously, but never a single MVP vote for Russell Wilson, although clearly he deserves to be considered. The problem is it's 1 vote per voter. They need to do first place, second place,
Agreed.
Third place. Just why not? Why not? I there's a stubbornness to the Associated Press when it comes to these awards. I think the idea is there are so many people out there criticizing so many aspects of the way they do it that their attitude is screw all of you. We're not changing anything. I mean, they have no rules. They let guys split votes if they want to. The panel of voters needs to be enhanced, frankly, but I'm not going to name names. And you know what? It's funny, I say all the time, I'll criticize the Hall of Fame process. I don't want a Hall of Fame vote, but I do want an AP vote. I think I should have one. I think you should have one, and maybe one of these days we will. Okay, my first candidate is Kyla Murray because of the trend. The trend is your friend. What have we seen? 2018, NFL MVP, second year in the NFL, Patrick Mahomes. 2019, NFL MVP, second year in the NFL, Lamar Jackson. We've been saying it all year. Get ready for Kyler Murray to take the NFL by storm. He's going to throw. He's going to run. He's going to score. We're going to say, oh, my God, why weren't we paying attention to this guy last year? Well, because he wasn't on TV. And we didn't get to see him very much. But when we did see him, we said, holy crap. So I'm sticking with the second-year quarterback, comes out of nowhere. And I know it cuts against the idea that you got to be the quarterback of the number 1 seed. Maybe they'll be the number 1 seed. Who knows? But I'm going with Kyler Murray.
Well, if he did something like just insane and just had an unbelievable year and statistically it looked good and he was clutch in the fourth quarter and they just got in the playoffs, maybe he could pull that off. I mean, we're starting to get into those type of quarterbacks where I think we might start seeing a little breakage from, oh, you have to be the 1 or 2 seed. I would like to see that. We'll see where it goes. But I totally understand that pick. Yeah, just it's going to be about the team. I'm with you with the player. I think I'm about to go with Drew Brees next. I mean, Drew Brees never won it. And a little bit like what you just said with Russell Wilson, like where the fact that he's never gotten a vote, will that bolster his chances to get it? I think that's going to be a talking point this year. I expect the Saints to be really good. I know that Sean Payton and Drew Brees are going to put up really damn good stats. That's what they do. So those are two things you can go check the box. And I do think the fact that Drew Brees has never won an MVP bothers voters out there. I mean, 2 years ago, people were trying to make the case for him to win the MVP over Patrick Mahomes, if you remember, who was doing things we've never seen in the history of the sport. But people were so torn about, how could Drew Brees have never won an MVP, to where I feel like that's still out there. And, of course, I think their team's going to be good and his stats will be good too. So I'll pick him as my second pick.
It becomes the Lifetime Achievement Award.
It does,
and again,
right.
because you have human beings voting on it. If the Saints end up the 1 seed in the NFC, now, look, when they were the 1 seed in 2009, Peyton Manning was the MVP because he's Peyton Manning. And Drew Brees was the Offensive Player of the Year. That's how they split the baby sometimes.
Yeah.
That if there's two really great quarterbacks, one is the MVP, the other is the Offensive Player of the Year. That's what happened 11 years ago. But if they're the 1 seed, I can see this idea, he's riding off into the sunset. They had a great season, 4th straight year where they've been among the best teams in the NFL. They keep coming back from these heart-wrenching playoff losses. And, yeah, even though the deep ball is long gone, although he says he's somehow worked on it and it's back, I wish we had preseason games that we could have seen that. But and even though maybe he's going to be used less with Taysom Hill around and getting 8 figures on his contract, I think Drew Brees is a candidate if the Saints end up
That'll
as the
be a
1
big
seed.
thing, though, you just said, Mike, there. It's going to be the end of the season, because 2 years ago, like when he was in that conversation, it kind of faltered down the stretch to things that we've talked about. Arm didn't look as good. There just wasn't as much pop in the ball. We saw that a little last year, too. And I think that'll be probably the deciding factor once again for him, is how he looks those last 3-4 weeks of the year.
Next one for me, and I got a lot of different ways I can go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to America's team. I'm going to go to a guy who's in a contract year making $31.4 million. That's a hell of a contract year if you're making $31.4. But the presence of Mike McCarthy, the influence that he can bring, the work that he did with Aaron Rodgers, Dak Prescott. Why not? Why not? If the Cowboys end up fulfilling the promise that their roster has, and we know that's been an issue in recent years, they don't live up to the potential. If they somehow do this year with McCarthy as the head coach, Dak Prescott's going to get the votes. He's getting the exposure. I think exposure is a big part of it. You see them play. If he steps up in those games where they're nationally televised and they keep winning and winning and winning, and they finish 12-4, 11-5, 1 seed, 2 seed, 3 seed range, and Dak has a big year statistically, I think we're going to see him get some votes.
I agree,
and maybe win it.
Yeah, he was gonna. I didn't think he'd go there. I was going to make him my next pick. I really believe that in a lot of ways that I really wanted to pick him before Drew Brees in some ways. I just didn't think he'd go there, but. Yeah, it could set up to where the Cowboys at the end of this year have to pay Dak Prescott $75 million a year, and he throws for 5,000 yards and everything like that. All right, I'm stuck here. I got a few good. I'm going to be transparent too. I don't care if you hear it. Hey, the Derrick Henry, Deshaun Watson, Carson Wentz, Big Ben, Phillip Rivers. I'm going to go with Big Ben. I think that's the guy I'm going to go with. I think there's a great chance he wins Comeback Player of the Year, but again. I think there's a lot of pieces here to be a Super Bowl team in Pittsburgh. It's a Super Bowl caliber defense. The offensive line is still good. It's not great, but it's good. Running back position, we'll see what happens there. But I think between the addition of Eric Ebron, the emergence of some of these young receivers, they don't need to do a lot. They were 8-8 last year with no offense, none. So if he has just a good statistical year and good touchdown to interception ratio, and like we talk about, they end up being one of the top teams in the AFC, I think Big Ben could be a little bit part of like what you said, that Lifetime Achievement Award, Comeback Player of the Year, love affair, Pittsburgh Steelers organization where he can get it. I'll go with him.
It's funny. Every time the offense performs at a high level, it's someone other than Ben
getting
the
credit.
Mentioned as the MVP candidate. It was Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
Receiver's never been MVP. They were talking about Antonio Brown a few years ago, not Ben Roethlisberger. So I don't think that there's a tenuous relationship between Ben and the media.
Very
and at the
real.
end of the day, you have to get enough of those people to vote for him, and I'm not sure they're going to do it unless he does have this great season, and we love the story of redemption, and we've seen the videos, the documentary, and I think he's trying as he pulls the train into the station to be more likable, because there was a long period of his career early on where he wasn't likable and he wasn't trying to be likable.
Yeah.
All right, I have so many different directions I can go in for the last pick, and I thought about a defensive player. But then I thought, there's only been two that have ever won MVP, Alan Page and Lawrence Taylor. And every once in a while there's, talk of Aaron Donald
J.J.
or whatnot.
Watt.
But yeah. But I didn't want to go there because I'd want it to be a defensive player who's never really been in the conversation, and I'm not sure who that would be.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with your guy from your San Francisco 49ers. I'm going to go with Jimmy G.
Ooh.
And I'm doing it based upon the basic reasoning
I get you.
of 1 seed quarterback.
Yeah.
And last year they were the 1 seed and he was the quarterback, but Lamar Jackson was better. Look, assuming that your guy Kyle Shanahan can press the buttons and, this is the grand experiment, the flirtation with Tom Brady. What does it do to wake up a higher level of performance from Jimmy Garoppolo? If it works, he can win the MVP. If it doesn't, he's going to be backing someone up next year, right? So I'm not predicting that he will, but
I hear you. I think it can line up that way. Yeah. With that defense, the run game, Shanahan delivers a few completions every game on a silver platter for him. And then, he makes plays. Hey, as much as we talk about it, and of course, it'll be the great success story, right? I mean, last year was 27-10, I believe, touchdowns, interceptions. But hey, anybody wants to talk about is just the missed throws and the missed plays in the Super Bowl, right? So if he comes out, they're good, and he's statistically better than last year and playing better actually than last year, then I'm with you. I think he will be in that conversation, no doubt about it.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.